Daily trading recap for this Tuesday, the 1st of February, 2022. No real trades for me on the day. We took one paper short on the day, but had some other family stuff and was busy otherwise, and also messing around with more on the futures aspect for ES and MES. And I think I'm going to start getting into that a heck of a lot more, especially with this market environment and just for how I like to trade. I do not feel the mental capital is there to learn from these types of patterns and charts that are trading today, and especially just to have your money in them. I do not feel the risk reward is there, especially for me in this small account size that I am right now. There's always going to be opportunity, and just killing myself at some of these that do pop up, and it's just like, yeah, I can see and identify there that in hindsight of, okay, yeah, there's definitely not definitely, but there was a trade there. But just of those of, okay, yeah, it's a B or a C setup, and how many of these have been working out recently, and that kind of draws down the grade a little bit more in my mind of, oh yeah, I could see how it works out great in the end, but it different perspective that way. So I think it's going to go harder on that futures aspect now that I do have the time and opportunity to, that nothing's going crazy hard, and small caps aren't going insane, OTCs aren't going insane. So we'll give it a whack. We got some data to go off of, and we're going to do some more research on that to find a more algorithmic approach. So excited about that. And SPY with a 0.68% day in the green today. Again, following in that trend of object in motion tends to stay in motion. If it's green, it's got a pretty high chance to be green tomorrow. If it's red, it's got a pretty high chance to be red tomorrow. Playing off of that as well. But expounding upon that more and more as much as we can. Getting pretty broad there with the introduction, but it's going to be a very short, quick video. Let's go over some market internals on the day. NASDAQ, $268 billion volume as of hour 6 minutes after the close. NYSE, $377 billion volume. OTC's $2.7 billion volume on the day. Just wanted to mention that IINN paper short that I played today, looking for the second day stump, the second day short play after it becomes this rest day, and I feel the charts that I've collected of these second day movers after a first screen day like this one did have a little bit more potential in it in after hours and produced a movement all the way up to 3.5, which in the kind of just broad spectrum playbook trade that I normally try to look at these as of, okay, I'd be getting short close to around the close or maybe a little bit before. It would have been a very hard or tough ride to sit through this, as it's tapping just above 3.5 there in the after hours. But sure enough, coming right back down to that close area just below before the close of after hours. And pre-market today looking very weak. So then playing off of the same thing, paper. Hey, looking for. Normally I would be holding these overnight that was the trade. It was what was going to be the playbook trade of, hey, I can save another day trade on these ones, and then that's even produces a better advantage point to be sitting from in these positions for the probability, the hit rate that these end up working out. That pre-market for that following day after that first day just ends up producing not a lot of volatility and ends up tanking or bleeding out price just a little bit more. On market hours, even a similar thing. Doesn't just completely tank it all the time, but that's not what we're looking for. Just being a nice little short, maybe even covering before the open of market or the following day, and just letting it to have a little bit more depth upon it during market hours. But trying to play that paper starting out in market hours today, as it's breaking view up here in view up, or price action was just not looking fantastic, but sure enough, it recovered nicely to cling to the underside of view up here, perked to a new high of day above $3 there during market hours. So I said that's doing something different than I initially thought was going to happen with the thesis for this trade. So cut it there. No fills, no data on that one because it was paper. Just putting the arrows in perspective on there for what future me for looking at this of what I was trying to trade there on IINN, and that's why it was paper to begin with, of lack of probability that I felt was actually there, and for how much I was focusing on the other things going on today. SRRA breakout that I was looking for yesterday, that on the daily perspective looks like an actual breakout, but on lackluster volume. But on the intraday perspective, we're still kind of and we still got a little bit of ways to go. There's still a little potential resistance. It's after hours movement. It's not like there's a huge collection of volume there that is holding this as technical resistance, but it is still kind of clinging to the underside of the breakout point. So I can't really quantify this as it has actually broken out. We could see a little pullback here. We could see some more dangling or consolidation before a true harder breakout with some key volume coming in on this one. It is a lower floater. Let's see, just to double check myself here again on this one. Yeah, American Biotech, 4.9 million floater I'm showing here on scans. So if that volume does become a factor, I could certainly see myself have gotten in on this one today if I was watching it, but which I was not. Hey, 28 areas holding pretty nicely. Could see some potential scaling up post-morning session into the afternoon, and that's exactly what it did. A little bit of dojiing and weirdness of price action that I don't like to see for the non-trading candles that it does have. But the movement of price action certainly was there today on SRRA and OBSV, my last one I want to mention. First day play, morning dump player of a very early morning, especially here on the West Coast time zone, of getting to play this thing at the failure to maintain VWAP after that initial perk. Did have a little bit of a fake out, but did not break to a new high of day above that initial perk high, and then pulled back to VWAP, continued to just tank and reject off of any VWAP attempts again, and just die the whole rest of pre-market and market hours as well. Those are all the tickers I want to mention. So yeah, it's just a very quick recap video for me to say that it's just that transition-oriented time and putting more hard work and data referencing into the data that I've been collecting all along for the past year on the SPY itself, and applying it to futures aspects to get rid of that time decay stupidity with options and see what can make work here on the futures side. If any strategy does become available and we can find something that works with our personality, that will be very exciting to be a part of. So that is the current quest for next few days, few weeks going forward. Keep myself updated going along with it. I thank you guys for watching. We will catch you guys on the next one.